Yeah, nah, for real. Nah, I hear you though, Cuddy, but for real. I think
before we get started, man, welcome back. Fact or Fiction, where we bring you more facts than fiction.
Okay.
We finna have a hot topic. We're gonna debate the most dominant players all time. We're not just talking about this generation, last generation. We're talking about the ever touch the floor, the hardwood floor of the NBA, and we finna get into it. Now, I can start this off by saying my 5, and then I wanna, elaborate on it after they say they 5. So 5, I got Bill Russell, of course. 4, I got Kareem. 3, I got Jordan, as he's the only guard on my list. 2, I got Shaq, which is if you look up dominant in the dictionary, it probably have Shaq name next to Will Chamberlain's name, which is my number 1. Carl, where you at?
All right, my top 5. They gonna hate me because I don't really have no order, but I'm gonna go Bill Russell.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Kareem.
Got to.
I'm gonna go MJ, the GOAT.
That's order.
You know what I'm saying? Wilt. And then I'm gonna go Shaquille O'Neal.
So Shaq over Wilt.
Nah, I don't have no order. Okay. I just think. All right. Go ahead, Mike. Let me hear what Mike got.
My 5. I'm gonna go Larry Bird.
Okay.
4, I got Kobe.
This in order?
It's order. It's my order.
Wow.
My order.
Okay.
4, Kobe. 3, MJ. Gotta have him in 3. Shaq, the Diesel 2. Number 1, Wilt.
Okay.
What else could I say with that?
Now, before we elaborate on this, before we came back from commercial break, we had a little debate going on. My boy was saying Bill Russell gotta be over Wilt Chamberlain. Explain that.
The reason I say that, I understand what Wilt has done, I just think when it boils down to how the world ranks players, we go by that bling bling, you know what I'm saying? He's won 11, 10 as a player, 1 as a head coach, as an assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the first black coach who won the NBA championship in the NBA, by the way.
Yeah.
I just think far as accolades individually wise, it ain't better than some of these guys, but the reason why everybody play this game is to establish what? To get a what?
Championship.
Get a championship.
Now, I 100% understand that, but let me say this. We're talking about being dominant as a player. We can't help the teams that Bill Russell had. He had some very good teams.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about being a dominant player, we're talking about individually what they done, and we're talking about a player that hit 100 points in the game.
Yeah.
We're talking about a player that had 50 rebounds in the game.
Yeah.
Average 50 points. Average 23 boards. What are we really talking about here when we talk about dominant?
Go ahead.
Shit, Wilt, 70-point games. Shit, I'm
gonna just say this: great as Will was, Bill Russell was one of those guys who took Will out in championship game. You gotta give it to Bill as one of the most dominant players. Look, he got 11 rings. I can't even fit him on my finger.
He got 11 rings. He on my list. He number 5, but we're talking about individually. So a player that got 4,000 points in a season.
He can easily be up there top.
And that's most in NBA history. You want to know who number 2 on that list? Wilt got Chamberlain with 35, 89. Come on, man. We're talking about a player who, when you really talk about dominant, Wilt Chamberlain is who you should think of. He averaged 50. We talked about this. The boy had 45, 50-point games in one season. It's only 82 games in the season, so if he had 45, don't that mean he had over half of the season he averaged 50?
He did.
Not to mention 23 rebounds.
I question how many 50-point games he had on Bill. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know. He had 45 50-point games. Was one of those games in the finals? I don't think so. You got to give it. Bro, he's an 11-time champion. He's a 5-time NBA MVP.
For sure.
He won 8 straight finals from 1959 to 1966.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
He was 11-1 in the finals.
Thanks.
And I think one of those finals was the Lakers eventually.
But again, when we're talking about individually, we can't hold the teams that they had to the player individually.
That's true.
Because as far as individually, Wilt Chamberlain was a walking, but average 50.
He did average 50.
He had 100.
Wow.
Some teams don't even average 100 in one season.
and 26 rebounds per game.
The same game he had 100 points, he had 55 boards.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Don't quote me on this, but I think on that 100-point game, he had the team overall score was like 147. He scored 100 of those.
That's 75% of the points.
That's crazy.
All right.
So look, as far as okay, I got you. We can meet in the middle. So as far as most rings team goes, of course that goes to Bill Russell.
Yeah.
And we never mentioned that his last two was as a player / coach. Crazy, but he got the most rings, enough to go on each finger with with two on another.
Yeah.
To me, as far as most dominant, I'm definitely going Wilt Chamberlain. Definitely going Wilt Chamberlain with the numbers he put up.
If you're talking about individually stats wise, of course. I mean, ain't no player ever in the NBA history gonna average 50. Of course, people gonna knock it because they gonna say he wasn't playing nobody, but you can't help who he played against.
Not at all.
You can't help who he was born. All right. So with that, who would be your second best player, top 5 most dominant, not stoppable? Who would you take?
Of course, Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal.
When you think of dominant, you think of
The D's.
Shaq. I mean, his Orlando days was good. Actually his rookie year, he averaged just under 24 with 12 boards, if I'm not mistaken. And that was Slim Shaq. He wasn't the Diesel till he got to LA, in which he three-peated, in which that Lakers team is the last team to three-peat ever. He averaged 38, 17 rebounds the first year of that three-peat, 33 and 16 boards, 36 and 12 boards the third year of that three-peat, which I think he actually deserved 3 MVPs, even though Kobe's my favorite player. And sometimes I can get a little biased, but Shaq actually deserved an MVP.
I agree 100%. My number 2, if it's when you hear most dominant, I think about Shaq.
You got to.
Of course, sound like y'all making me rank these top 5.
Yes, sir.
I don't really want to rank them, but if that's the case, I'm gonna say Bill, of course, because the NBA rings is 11. I'm gonna have to go probably Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
He's a 6-time NBA champion. He's a 6-time Finals MVP.
Yes, sir.
He probably got one of the most unstoppable shots you can.
Arguably the best. Yes, sir.
Sky hooks.
You can't even block it.
You can't block it. He got the most points ever scored in the NBA. You know, of course he played with Magic. He played with James Worth. He played with some Hall of Fame guys.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Kareem, Skyhook, Jabbar. You know, however you want to call him. That'll be my number 2 guy.
Okay.
Martin, what you got?
My number 2, I gotta go with my boy Duke, Shaq. I mean, 15-time All-Star, 3-time scoring champ.
Yeah.
Well, 2-time scoring champ, 4-time NBA champ, 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 3-time all defensive team, Hall of Fame. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you meet, like I told y'all, talent with physique. He had it all. And when he went to the Lakers, he became the most dominant guy in the game at the time. He can move you to whatever spot he wanted you to be in, get a bucket. He gonna dunk on you whether you there or not. He gonna block your shot. He can really do it all. For a person that was big, that was that big, he could really move.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, sir.
I like Shaquille O'Neal. Man, he's a diesel. 4-time champion. The question I always ask other people, if Shaq played with Jordan, who would get the final MVP?
Good question.
And most likely people would say Shaq. Same with LeBron. It'll be Shaq. He's arguable. I mean, he's a 7'2", 325. You know what I'm saying? That's hard to stop. So for that reason, Shaq would probably be my number 3. He will be my number 3.
Okay.
Most dominant player. I hate that I have to rank these guys.
Yes,
different eras of basketball.
I love it.
Different positions. You really can't rank them. But hey, I'm gonna go Shaq at number 3. Who you got at 3?
My number 3 would be the only guard actually on my list. Michael Jordan himself, arguably the greatest ever to play the game. 6-time NBA champion, 6-time Finals MVP. Which a lot of people held that over Kobe. For him, it's because he's never lost in the finals. But we're not gonna get into that. 5-time NBA MVP, 14-time All-Star, 10-time NBA first team, 1-time NBA second team, and I do want to mention that I think he's made 9 defensive first teams, which I think a lot of people sleep on his defense because his offense was so great. And actually, he is one of 2 people to get 3,000 points in a season. In that year, he averaged 37 in 86 and 87. So, yeah, I got MJ number 3. Offense good, defense good. Arguably one of the greatest all-around players. I think he led the league in steals 3 times, which I don't know why people don't talk about that. Yeah, I got MJ, man, and it's a solid position because if it wasn't for the things that the first 2 done, he probably would be higher on that list. Marlon, material.
Same. I got MJ number 3. 10-time scoring champ. 14-time All-Star. 6-time NBA champ. Like Duke said, 9 times all defensive team. 6-time NBA Finals MVP. 5 times MVP. And he averaged 30 at his whole career. So, gotta go MJ, man. Gotta go MJ.
Yes, sir. Who your number 4?
Number 4.
Because you had 2 different ones.
I got 2 guards in mind. So,
Okay.
So I got number 4. I got Kobe.
Hey.
The Mamba.
Hey.
The Mamba. So Kobe, 2-time scoring champ.
Yeah.
5-time NBA champ. 18 all-time All-Star. 15 All-NBA team. My boy is 12-time All-Defense.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and he scored 81 points in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who doing that right? Who doing that?
Only person I know is Wilt, but that was it.
2-time Finals
He was
MVP.
number 1 on my list.
That's what I'm saying. Like 81 points. Kobe number 4.
I like that Kobe. You know, I ain't gonna say he probably the most. He was dominant, but the top 5, I ain't gonna put him there. But he was a very dominant guard.
He was.
Like I said, I think he went on like a 9-game, hitting 50 points plus, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he's just a great player. You know, I don't want to rank them in order. I like Kobe though. I ain't gonna put him in top 5. To go back to MJ, like you said, like I say, for Duke, he never lost in a final game. I think he's probably the only player for Chicago Bulls. They won 600 games where they didn't lose 3 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? So like that's very dominant. I mean, you can say that's the majority of him having a good team,
It's a great stat.
but also that's him leading that team as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I'm gonna go with that. And for my last one, of course, is Wilt, which I think if you're going individual wise, Wilt is the most dominant player on here. Okay, he averaged 50.
So Wilt's your number 1.
Bill Russell is my number 1. 'Cause like I say, when you play the game, we all play the game to get a championship. That's the ultimate goal. He
For
won
sure.
11 of them.
For sure.
10 really, 1 being a coach. But for me, I'm gonna go Wilt. You know, 4-time MVP, averaged 50. He averaged 26 rebounds per game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he scored 100 in 1 game. Like, ain't nobody ever done that. So that's just my opinion on most dominant. What about you?
My number 5, which I was going backwards. My number 5 is Bill Russell.
Okay.
I ranked him there because he had some. Of course, he had some great teams, and it would either been him or Kareem to be there because they had better teams than the other 3. Just in my opinion, as far as Hall of Fame wise. And with that being said, like my boy said, 11-time NBA champion. He won 5 MVPs. He was a 12-time All-Star, 3-time first team, 8-time second team. Known as the greatest winner as far as rings. I mean, you can't take rings away from him. But as far as individually, I think the other 4 did more individually. But he still was a dominant player, and I still put him on my list. That's why he's 5 on my list.
Okay. I think I done went through my list. Actually, I got Bill, Kareem, MJ, Wilt, and Shaq. Like I say, that's my top 5 right there.
My last one, my 5. I'm going different from these boys right here, man.
What
I'm
you
going
got?
different.
I want to hear this.
So, Bill Russell could easily be on the list. I'm being different. I'm going Larry Bird.
Okay.
Larry Bird, 3-time NBA champ,
Yeah.
10-time All NBA team, 12-time All-Star, 3-time NBA champ, 3-time MVP. Yeah, 3 MVPs, 2-time NBA Finals MVP. My boy he had 47 40-point games, 4 50-point games. His career average was 24. Average 10 rebounds a game. My boy averaged 49.6 field goal percentage, 6.3 assists career.
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
I think he's probably one of the most underdog players that people don't talk about. Larry Bird actually is a great player. They don't give him a lot of credit. He was hard to guard. Also, he was a great defender as well. So I think when people think Larry Bird, they think of him just being a shooter.
Yeah.
You know, but Larry Bird actually was a great basketball player.
Yeah.
And he was a winner. You know, he also won Rookie of the Year when he first came in.
Right.
So,
Over Magic.
Over Magic. Even though Magic won the finals that year, I mean, Larry Bird still had a great, fantastic year. So I can't say I don't disagree as one of the top 5 players, but Larry Bird was one of those players who paved the way for a lot of guys in the NBA for where we're at now, especially Larry and Magic Johnson. You know, I think they changed the game drastically of what they did for the NBA coach.
Well, my boys, I can say I disagree. I feel like my top 5 is solid.
Yeah.
And I think it's backed by facts. You know, I deal with nothing but facts.
Yeah.
No fiction. And I feel like them are the top 5 most dominant players that ever touched the floor.
Okay.
As of right now, you know, they could change in the future, but I don't think it will. So again, going backwards, I got Bill Russell, 5. I got Kareem. 4, I got Michael Jordan himself. 3, I got who I got 2, Shaq at 2, and then I got Wilt Chamberlain 1 as the most dominant player ever to touch the floor.
For me, I don't have no order. I'm gonna keep saying that. I just think they was all great in their era. I have Bill, Kareem, MJ the GOAT, Wilt, and then I got Shaq the D. You know what I'm saying? And for me, honorable mention, which I know a lot of people gonna say in the comments, what about LeBron? You know what I'm saying? LBJ did make a finals 10 times. He's a 4-time MVP. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 4-time finals.
You know that's gonna be
a 4-time champion. He is crawling his way up in the ranking and scoring. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that'd be 6. But I mean, LBJ is dominant. If you're going off what he's done and where he's at now in his career, he's probably one. He's a dominant player. He's a force to be reckoned with for sure. Maya, what you got?
My 5, Larry Bird, Kobe, MJ, Shaq.
That's right, Kobe.
I mean, if you ain't got a Wilt Chamberlain on number 1, I don't.
You just don't know the game.
Bill Russell.
You put Bill Russell in there?
But you got Wilt Chamberlain number 1. Bill Russell gotta be number 1 though.
Why?
Sir.
Because of the team goal?
He got 11
You're talking about being
rings.
individually dominant.
Listen.
He do got 11 rings.
Listen, when you sign that paper and you get that check,
Yeah.
and you get with your team, what is the goal for the season?
It's to win a ring. And they did that as a team. Right.
Right.
But individually, this boy got 100 in a game. So
Scored 100.
technically in one game, he could have beat them himself.
And with that, he only got 2 championships.
Yeah, for sure.
Bill got 11.
He played with a lot of Hall of Famers.
He did. He did. Yeah, I mean, Will
Like, them was some of the best teams.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That boy Wilt had 53
If they didn't have Bill though, they wouldn't have win these championships.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He's a
Facts.
staple of
That's
this.
why they put together a good team, but individually, Wilt is still.
Let me say this stat real quick. My boy Wilt had 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 24 blocks, and 11 steals in 1 game.
24 blocks? Who doing that?
Come on.
I mean, of course. I mean, yes. But that's me playing center against Will. Of course he gonna get 50.
Go on, man.
Like, come on, man. Like,
No.
no shade to Will.
All right, okay. Well, we gonna do that about the 53. What about the 100? I don't give a damn who playing you. Then he scored 100.
He did score 100. I ain't gonna.
Never gonna be broke.
That record never be broken. And you know what? I mean, I can't really blame Will. He can't help when he's born. He can't help who he's playing against.
No, sir.
So the only thing he can possibly do is when he's playing is dominate, which that he did. He averaged 50, and I have to give him credit. But like I say, when I look in that trophy case and I can see 11 rings on my finger, and I can say, listen, they named a trophy after me.
Finals MVP.
Finals MVP, the Bill Russell Award.
They did.
I have to be one of the most dominant players.
And you is. You just not one. You up there though, top 5. I give you that, Bill.
Damn, I ain't having my 5, so.
Yeah, you ain't have Bill Russell in the top 5?
He could easily be in it, but I ain't have him in it.
What puts Kobe and Larry Bird over Bill? I really don't know this.
Dominance. I'm going Kobe dominance, man. Larry Bird. I mean, y'all right with the rings and all, but this is what I'm gonna go with for my 5.
Bill won 8 straight since 1959 to 1966. I wasn't even born yet. None of us in this room wasn't even thought of yet, but that's 8 straight. Like, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? He went 11-1 in the finals.
Yeah.
Of course, he had a great team, but like, dog, when they talk about the Celtics winning those rings, who you hear the most?
Larry Bird.
No, you don't. You hear Bill Russell. You hear Bill Russell. Like, he is the staple. Like, he's the guy.
Sure.
So,
For
for me, it's Bill Russell. Now, I ain't gonna doubt individually wise if you say who the best is. I mean, Will. I mean,
For sure.
50 points?
Kobe.
Come on, man. That's 2K.
81 points in the game.
Yeah. Like,
Kobe was dominant in his own, but we'll say that for another day. Y'all stay tuned, man. We got a Red Couch special coming up for y'all, man, when we come back.
It's gonna be good.